for heritage. May we well faith and courage as by a build advance, as one family. God bless our nation.
Oh, you can count on me, working for my party. Faithful I will be. I will fight with all my might, counting on the enemy. Oh, you can count on me, working for my party. Faithful I will be. I will fight with all my might, working for the NNP.
Thank you, ladies. I now invite Mr. Sean Courtney to do the welcome.
Well, a very good evening to everyone. We're particularly grateful that you took time out from your schedule, tomorrow being a holiday, and we know everybody busy doing stuff, but we are appreciative of the fact that you decided to spare 2-3 hours to be with us this afternoon as we talk about national issues. We wish to welcome, and I'll just start with the person closest to me, Mr. Gregory Bowen, the constituency lead for St. George's Southeast, which you are here this afternoon. And then we want to also especially welcome Senator Dwight Hosford. Wish to welcome also a member of Parliament for St. Mark, the Honorable Claris Modeste. And Mr. Oliver Joseph, the lead for St. David's. And also we have Senator Garway, Winston Garway now, former Senator Winston Garway in our midst. And everyone here, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us. And we trust that as we sit and listen, we all will continue to not just work for our party, but work for our country. So God bless you and thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Courtney. We have a very packed program tonight, but before we start, I just want to say a few things. I stand before you not just as a representative of the new National Party, but as a voice for the youths who are growing tired of the abuse of power by the government. The current administration seems more focused on glorifying himself than truly serving the people. We've heard him boast about being the biggest seller of Grenada, as if our beloved nation is just only a product to market, as if the success of our nation depends solely on him. What of him? But let me ask you, what are we really selling? A leader's ego, his image, and he has the audacity to say that the people who haven't heard of Grenada has heard about him. How? So the little 2 years you came in there for, you get glad. Everything is I, and me. I tell you, Dr. Mitchell has served Grenada well over 40 years. So if it's a Mitchell those people in foreign heard about, just know that it is not you. Mr. PMU is the wrong Mitchell. It was Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell. So stand corrected. You now come, but you're doing as if the world revolves around you. But I'll say this. This is not how we build a future. Grenada must be known for its people, its culture, and its development, not as a vanity project for any leader. It's time for better leadership, grounded in service and humility. Let's put Grenada back on the map for what it truly is, a gem of the Caribbean, built by the strength and unity of the people. So we don't need to leverage the Prime Minister. The real power is our citizens. We need to leverage the talents, energy, and aspirations of our very own people. Our fishermen, our farmers, the youths, our students, entrepreneurs, our teachers, our journalists, our creative minds, the garbage collectors, our doctors, our lawyers, and our warm and friendly people. These are the true ambassadors of this nation. And not one man standing in the spotlight. But let me bring some Bible in here tonight, because he's too bright, calling himself baby Jesus. So you could turn water into wine. You could heal the sick and raise the dead. Jesus Christ won. Baby Jesus, nothing. Jesus wasn't boastful. He wasn't selfish. He wasn't self-absorbed. He wasn't a victimizer. And he never discriminated. God in all his fullness allows us to exercise our rights and freedom, because we can choose if we go to heaven or hell. And we're going to let some man come and take away our rights and treat us as papi, sure? You must be mad. I say you must be mad. It's time we push back against the NDC's self-promotion and remind them that leadership, true leadership, is about empowering our people and not serving personal ambition. Brothers and sisters, the NNP has proven time and time again that we are for the people. NNPites! NNPites! Are you ready to stand up for our country? Are you ready to defend our democracy and our people? If you're ready, say house. 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 Remember, just remember that our house is solid and our pillars are still strong. Our house is solid and our pillars are still strong. NNP forever. We bleed green. But that was not my time to speak. He is a senator, an attorney at law with a commitment to justice, and his passion for public service and dedication to legal reform makes him a vital voice in our community. And he will work to ensure that fairness and equity is for all. Brothers and sisters, put your hands together for Senator Dwight Horsford.
Good evening, sisters and brothers. think tonight my height is a disadvantage. Good evening, sisters and brothers. It is a very, very worthy pleasure of mine to be here. Very special pleasure to be here in Jaloux with you. And I want to especially recognize my sister, the Honorable Claris Modeste Cohen. And our chairman, Brother Oliver Joseph. And most especially, Brother Gregory Bowen, our deputy political leader. Sisters and brothers, I think our political leader is here, Dr. Mitchell. I especially greet Dr. Mitchell, our political leader in our midst this evening. When I come to meetings such as this one, I always remind myself of the purpose of these meetings. We must remember, sisters and brothers, that this new national party is the only political party in Grenada that can bring hope and progress to Grenada at this time. We must also remember, sisters and brothers, that when our country was in shambles with the bloody collapse of the Grenada Revolution, when the times called for courage to stand up and pick up the country and put it together again, the NNP was there to do that. And not too long ago, you would remember, when after the exercise of the popular democratic right of our people, an NDC administration was elected, and soon thereafter followed bacchanal, infighting, until they reached the point where they were selling off assets just to pay salaries. And who was there to pick up the country and rescue the country? The New National Party. Once again, sisters and brothers, today we're seeing almost a repeat of things we've seen in history, recent history. As I say, we have seen this movie before. And it is the NNP again to the rescue. Before I delve a little bit into a very important issue of the voters list and canvassing the voters list, how important that is, particularly in the process that we have now started, I want to say a few special words in relation to a very special gentleman that you have in your midst, Brother Gregory Bowen. When I was driving here, I remember working with his campaign team in 2013. And sisters and brothers, When I see Brother Gregory Bowen, I see such a powerful symbol of commitment, decency, steadfastness, and service to his people. Nobody, nowhere, can dispute the kind of work and development Brother Gregory Bowen has done in the Southeast. Nobody. And I'll tell you something more, because it has happened before. You've seen it with your very eyes. You get an NDC so-called politician that comes and he gets your vote and disappear. You remember Carl Hood disappeared? Gregory Bowen was here. Still sympathizing with you when you had a death in your family. Still in the community. Still in the churches. And sisters and brothers, again, you get an NDC, so-called politician, that got your votes. And what do you do? Disappear. And who's here with you? Brother Gregory Bowen. I just felt the need, sisters and brothers, to pay tribute to his humility and his consistency. Because it is an example, I believe it is an example for all of us NNP soldiers, and particularly those of us who are now in the front line of the politics. It is about service, and you have to be committed. This gentleman here is a symbol of commitment. Now, having said that, our sister, our dynamic sister, mentioned earlier that you had a fella that say, if people don't know about Grenada, they know about he. So that is how Grenada would be known. That happens, sisters and brothers, when your head swell. I just told you that this is about service, not self. That's why I mentioned this good gentleman here. And it is because of this dangerous development that you are seeing in your eyes, right in front of you, that it is so important now that we must pay attention to our democratic rights. Don't take them for granted. And in recent times, myself and some colleagues, I see a few of them here today, like Brother Smallies and others, we have been paying attention to the critical aspect of the voters list. Now, before I say anything on that, now in every meeting you're hearing from us that it is important to comb the list. Make sure that your name on it, your family, our supporters, and make sure that you know the people that are living in your polling division, in your constituency. But it's equally important, sisters and brothers, to make sure that your children and your grandchildren, particularly some of you who have children and grandchildren in your homes that are of voting age, you need to talk to them and get them registered. This is not a one-sided thing. The voters list is important, and this is an important aspect of it. Get them registered, sisters and brothers. Because we cannot do the rescue mission if we do not have the numbers. And that is why we are paying attention to the voters list. Now, on the 1st of September, when we kicked off these meetings, I mentioned to you that we were noticing some strange names on these lists, particularly the addendum or the addendums that are coming out. funny sounding Chinese names, Russian type names, and so on. They sound funny, but it is a serious matter. Why is it so serious, sisters and brothers? It is serious because when the list is packed up with people that don't belong on the list, they outnumber you. And so if an election is called, the expectation is that they will have more persons voting for them than are voting for us. And I indicated to you that is what you call padding the list. And so we recognize that is what they're doing. And so we are combing the list, and action will be taken. As my friend Beck from Caracol say, action must be taken. But sisters and brothers, there is another thing. Now, I realize in some of our meetings that there is only a focus on the addendum to the list. That is important, yes. But you need to get the main register of voters, whatever is the current list, in addition to the addendum, and go through it thoroughly. Go through it like if you're combing your hair to braid it, because this is very serious business, sisters and brothers. You see already around you things are falling apart, haven't you? Just the other day, we were supposed to have, what was it called, National Heroes Day. Well, I wasn't there, but I see something on the TV, and I know barber shops that have more people than that. But funny as it is also serious, sisters and brothers, because at any time, it can completely fall away. And we have to be ready to rescue our country. Now, in the coming weeks, we are going to continue and conclude the wrongs that we have been making with some of the canvassers in talking about the voters list. Already, we have begun a line of action in one particular constituency. I wouldn't mention it now. And that line of action is that we are using the law. We are using the law because NNP is law abiding. We are using the law. They pardon the list, which is breaking the law. We are using the law to counteract that. And so in one particular constituency, we'll be moving forward with some measures, some action. That's right, sister. I hope you appreciate. We're not going to elaborate that at this meeting, but the point is, when we come to you next, it is important that you have the canvas work done. Do not wait for us to have a session and say, well, the last time we canvassed was in February when a list came out, and yes, in truth, some things were strange. No, sisters and brothers, as soon as you see the addendum come out, go through it. And also pick it up as against the current list that you have, the main list. I feel very, very confident, sisters and brothers, that we in the New National Party, we are doing the right thing, and we are doing the right thing at the right time. There's no early and late when God's work is afoot. And so, sisters and brothers, continue to be vigilant. Continue to stand for your rights. And continue to give every ounce of support to the New National Party. I want to thank you for allowing me this short opportunity to speak to you. And I hope I'm forgiven for spending too much time, mentioning Brother Greg, because indeed, as Christ said of Nathanael, this is a man in whom there is no guile. And it's almost a tad bit emotional for me, because when we recently had to remember Sir Danny Williams, and I saw how moved Dr. Mitchell was in his reflections, and I could understand, especially as I am one who respects our history, and particularly our history of service. They belong to a generation of special Grenadians. So when you have children who just come, when you get an opportunity, perhaps an opportunity of a lifetime, to give the greatest service to your country, and you disrespect everything that is so dear, everything that is noble, and all those who have fought to give you the opportunity to be where you are. That really affects me. And so I had to take the opportunity, sisters and brothers, if you forgive me, to speak a little bit beyond I began about Brother Gregory Bowen, who is such a very faithful servant that we must always respect and honor. And I too pay tribute to his service to our country and our party. Thank you very much, sisters and brothers.
Yeah, when God was giving height, I was nowhere to be found. Thank you, Brother Hosford. He mentioned that the NDC is always vote, elected and gone. It's a set of magicians they have in that camp. Our next speaker, he has driven many initiatives that foster growth and development. He is humble, and he's a lover of progress. He has assisted with so many scholarships in St. David's at lost count. He was the man with the vision for the hotel in St. David's, the same one they bad talk and run down. Brothers and sisters, welcome Brother Oliver Joseph.
Pleasant good evening to everyone, the members of the head table, our political leader, deputy political leader, and the other members of the head table. One thing I could say about this MC, she has a lot of energy. That is energy. Yeah, so, and I want to recognize, mates, Brother Winston Gawi, and I'll tell you why. Because we sat in cabinet together for approximately 10 years. And I know his contribution to this country in cabinet. And Brother Gawi, I want to especially recognize you for your dedication to this country. So I want to follow up a little on what Brother Horsford started. Now, when I joined the NMP in 2012, because I was in the public service and could not take part, NMP was in opposition. I was working in Barbados, and when I came back and I joined NMP, and then I ran in 2013, and my friends in Barbados said, but you go back to Grenada and join the opposition party? I thought you were going with the government. I said, well, the government not making sense. NMP is the only party to come and develop Grenada. And when I get in, we had an election in February. At the time, the government, I want you to follow carefully, because I have to deal with an issue out the statement Dr. Mitchell made in Tivoli. I want to explain that in simple, basic economics. Because what he said, perfectly correct, but it turned everything. So I'm going to break it down. Very simple. But before I get there, now, when I learned the history of Dr. Mitchell, humble background, from poor parentage. Once he asked me if I know Masanto. I say, where you think I'm from? I mean, if I know Masanto, I'm from poor family. I don't know if it's because I Douglas here, you think I'm rich. But he tried to tell me he's so poor. A poor man that make it right up to PhD level and left his job and come back to Grenada and say, any party leading, I will be there. Because of his upbringing. That's why he has so much love for the poor, you know. You know, if you don't have this upbringing and understanding and the sacrifice, although the majority of them in the present government poor, come from poor background. So how they don't study in the poor? well they should look out for the poor. I told one of them that because we grew up together. And I say, remember when we go in, we didn't even have money for break, right? We had nothing. Parents were so poor. But we persevere and we made it academically. So why are you not looking out at the interests of the poor? And every time NMP talk about, use the term poor and vulnerable, they getting upset. How are you going to talk about the poor and vulnerable? You know? Any government, the responsibility of any government is to lift the standard of people in the country. That is the role of government. And that is why NMP places so much emphasis on scholarships, you know. So much emphasis on scholarships. And that is what's going to take people out of poverty, you know. When you educate the younger people, because that is what took me out of poverty, you know. Because I got a scholarship and I went to university. And therefore, the NNP has a clear understanding of the policies. So how you need to judge a government is by the kind of policies, you know, that they implement. So and I'll give you some examples. So we had the houses built by the People's Republic of China for the less fortunate people that we are going to distribute to them in order to lift their standard of living. In the campaign, the NDC said that we are paying security to look at the houses and we have it there. And we're not giving it out. As soon as they come, they'll give it out. When they come, what they did? They started selling it. Look at I could talk about the housing project in St. David's. You have 226 units, you know. The one bedroom is 50,000. Two bedrooms, 70,000. So where poor people going and get money to buy that? So there's a line there, beautiful. My friends that came down for Carnival said they're going to buy some of it as a holiday house. Holiday house. That is not what it was built for. They said to me, when they come down for holiday, they could stay in it. I say it was not meant for that. It was meant for the poor people of this country to help lift them up, and that was the policy of the new National Party. And if the new National Party was there, all the houses would be given out. So that is how you need to judge the government, by the kind of policies that they put in place. They talk about Project 500. Do you know that the houses will be sold? You're not getting no free house, you know. It will be sold because they're not interested in helping the poor to lift up from poverty. That is the NNP. And when you have put focus on the less fortunate people and they can come up, that's how the country will move forward and develop, brothers and sisters. So listen, follow carefully all the policies of the government, and you will see that all the policies are not in the interest of the working people of this country. Now, how the economy functions? if you have an increase in consumption spending, that is spending by people, household, so more people walk in the economy, more disposable income, and they can spend more. That is, everybody knows that, you know. You don't have to go to university to know that. Once you have money and you spend in the economy, VAT is a transaction tax. So as people buy it, you collect more VAT, so the government will benefit more. So what you want to do to grow the economy is have more people walk in. That is what you want. So when you have more people walking, you have more people spending. And that is the simple point, Dr. Mitchell. I don't understand all this spin about that is the simple point he was making. And that's a basic economic theory, you know. That if people have more disposable income and they spend more, the economy will do better. Because the government collecting more taxes when you spend more. Business is doing well. They could employ more people. And the whole economy is booming. Well, what's wrong with that? That is the correct thing. So, brothers and sisters, when we were there, every time, even the bushing program that was seasonal, but we had thousands of people working, you know, thousands. There are millions of dollars we are spending there, you know. And all the shops in St. David's were boasting, and they were happy. The shopkeepers say, well, everybody who owe me come and pay, you know. And he could buy more. So that is the economic situation we are looking at. Today, that is not happening, and that is why the economy is not doing as well as when the new National Party is in office. So when people come to you with this nonsense, it's easy to debunk, right? About somebody say they're going away and spending money. That's not the point. The point is create jobs for the people in Grenada so they can spend money here. That is the point. And that is what we have to do. And that is what we have to deal with, brothers and sisters, you know. So as we move forward, and I must say that these meetings have had a serious impact on the opposition, you know. When I watch the crowd, I tell you, when I pass now, they say, what? NMP up, man. They are the move. They're moving. I say, well, last year, they was telling me when I passed the NMP dead, you know. And we could never come back, they're dead. Now, they're saying, well, I don't find NDC doing anything. And they have NNP coming out in large numbers. People are coming out in large numbers simply because they are dissatisfied with the performance of the government. That's why they're coming out. And that is why we need to continue to support the NNP, because the NNP is the party that will bring back Grenada to where it was under Dr. Mitchell. I have a limited amount of time, but the people in the audience usually tell me, why you don't go on more? You like how you explain anything? I say, no, Minister Pierre tell me I have a certain amount of time. So before I finish, let me bring you to an important point. When in 2013, I want you to listen very carefully to this scenario, because it's important you understand that. When I came in a contest, we won all 15 seats. You know, at the time, the NDC was selling out assets to pay salaries. So when we reached there, we had to pay salary, no money. Well, that was obvious, because if in January you're selling out assets, in February, we get money. So when we meet in cabinet, I said, Lord, what I get myself involved in? I had a job that paid me every month. Now I come in one, I ain't sure if I get in pay. So, under Dr. Mitchell's leadership, I don't know what he did, because I knew him as a mathematician, not a magician. So, he come, he get money. We pay salaries on time from the first month to the last month that we're there. I don't want to bore you with economic data, but let me tell you what happened. Just listen to this. When we came in, 70% of every dollar collected in revenue went to paying wages and salary. So you only had 30% left to do everything else. So because of that, they could not pay the debt. So the debt to GDP ratio went up to 108%. So the debt was higher than the GDP, you know. That's poor, bad economic management. You know when we left, what we went down to? 45% of the, instead of 70% towards salary, he went to 45%. That's what he went to, you know. And the debt to, let me listen to that, the debt to GDP ratio went down to 55%, you know. That is the kind of management of the economy, you know. And when they reached, they got over 500 million, they said they meet a pregnant treasury. Now they're in deficit, you know. The last economic review, medium-term economic review, shows that the economy is in a deficit, you know. You know what I mean? They're spending more than they're getting now. So what happened to the 500 or something? And then you collected $1 billion from CBI? And where is it? Where is the money? If I had time, I would explain it, but because my time is limited, and next meeting. But do I tell me a next meeting when you have a big public meeting? Yes, of course I'll explain it. But when we had the national rally, because we had to have a national rally, you know. But that is what the people calling for. Every town hall we go to, the hall full. Everyone, you know. Everyone. So we must have a national meeting. So when we have a national meeting, I will go further. But for tonight, just remember that the new national party is your only hope for Grenada.
Thank you, Brother Oliver. Brother Oliver, we have mathematicians and economists inside here, but they have frequent flyers, so how they go understand what you're saying? And they must take the simplest things and run with it, because they don't have nothing to do. Boy, we really need to give these people some work, eh? All you have ideas to generate and policies to create. According to one of our youths, Grenada right now has two oppositions. What they have to do, they ain't doing it. But they're sitting down there, minding our business. It's like we in power and we ain't in power and they're still talking. According to Sister Emlyn, settle down and mind your business. Our next speaker, she is little like me, but she is filled with vibes. She talawa. Love, and has a heart for people. St. Mark's calls her mother. She's a servant and champion for health and education. You cannot say St. Mark's and not think of her. Brothers and sisters, welcome Dr. Claris Modeste.
Thank you, my little sister. I have so many little sisters to look after in the house of the new National Party. And I'm so pleased and proud to be a part of a team that have young people like this lady. Good night to everyone. And I'm tempted to say NNPites. But I know there are thousands who are listening, and all may not be, but I have to greet NNP, and I have to greet all of those who on some medium, some social media or otherwise, listening to these meetings, because the more we have meetings is the more people join and listen to the words of wisdom and truth that we have to say. Permit me to acknowledge my team, of which I'm a member. It's not my team, but I'm a member of this team, with our political leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell, Deputy Political Leader, and one of the hardest working men I know in Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, Brother Gregory Bowen. To our dear senator, he was a senator. He leave us and he go away, come back again, and he had to come back right back and work with the new national party right there. And he's starting in the Senate, but he not ending in the Senate. And Brother Oliver Joseph, when that man explained some figures for you, you don't understand. And I want to greet him in a special way. But I also want to greet some of my brothers and sisters of the executive of the new national party who toil with us day after day to keep things going. Brother Winston Garway, our lead. Sister Lorena Waldron, former Minister for Education, who did and other portfolios that she carried and did a marvelous job with all the portfolios she carried. NNPites and everyone listening tonight, good night. Brothers and sisters, all I'm hearing is that NDC making history. They make history here and they make history there. And when I think about it, in truth, they make history. Let us just look at how NDC making history. History could be good for the positive, and history could be bad for the negative and for the destruction. They're making history. NDC has certainly made history. And I know it was mentioned before, and I'm going to be brief about it. When they observe National Heroes Day. First time I hear you have a Heroes Day, and up to now the whole nation don't know who are the heroes in the country. They're making history up to now. So I say maybe I didn't listen to the right channel, or I didn't listen to the right Facebook. So I'm asking people, who are the heroes up to now? Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique do not know, but we celebrate National Heroes Day. The only thing I could say, when I saw that one of our neighboring prime ministers was here, I thought he came down to tell us what he's doing in his country to recover from burial, so that the government of this country could start doing something to recover baby people who are suffering from burial, brothers and sisters. Because in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Union Island, I've seen some photos, I've seen some images, and they're really making progress, brothers and sisters. But the other side is only talk and fly high. Brothers and sisters, so Heroes Day, well, somebody asked me if they could play music tomorrow too. And if all in all, you better tell us fast. Because last week we couldn't play music, amplified music. You couldn't take a drink. They say if you laugh, they could arrest you too. All kind of thing. For heroes that we don't know yet who they are. NDC certainly making history. They're making sure they're under rule and regulation, as the old people used to say. So before you play music, check it out. Brothers and sisters, NDC making history. First time I see TAMCC students ball out so and come out in their numbers. 6 months after school open, no labs. No labs. So they boast of free tuition. So you're free to go to school, but you have to find the money to pay the bus to get there. So if you live in St. Mark, if you live in St. Patrick, if you live in St. Anne, all the places far, St. David's too. And even here, you have to pay bus to get to TAMCC. Well, you're getting free tuition, but see how you could make your way. Under the new national party, we did not only take care of the tuition fees for those who could not afford, we made sure that we provided the means for them to go to school, brothers and sisters. So they say if you get to school, you get there. But you can't learn because no labs, all the things that the children are using in the labs, they don't have. Free lunch for the school children, the smaller ones. But less supplies. When they used to pay a little money to contribute, now you give in less supplies, but you say free lunch. You know when children sit down in classroom and they barely boiling, they barely grumbling, they can't learn nothing. So the next cohort of children, going up from whatever standard to next standard, going from primary school to secondary school, Tam Sisi waiting for the exams. It's going to be a sorry sight. If we sit down and we let the NDC continue to use taxpayers' money just how they want to enjoy themselves, we have to start talking some more, brothers and sisters. We are your voices, and we're going to do our job, but do yours. We have to stand up and let them know that the rescue train is coming. Rescue train already is in motion, and NNP is ready to take back our country, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, teachers not paid for months. And I must compliment them because they keep it very quiet. And the mortgage in jeopardy, when you don't get your pay, and that happened before, you know. People lost their houses. People lost their vehicles that they're making, their trucks that they're making their money with, because they could not get a pay on time. This time is not only on time, you know, they don't get in pay at all. And no apology. No, I am in charge. We are in charge. And we large and we could do what we want. Brothers and sisters, teachers held on until they could hold on no more. So NDC is making history that never happened under the New National Party. I don't think it ever happened in Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique. NDC, they're making history. But I wonder for how many months the administration didn't get paid. Can our Prime Minister tell us how many months he didn't get paid? And all the ministers, who some not even going to work. When you pass in the car park for the ministers, the car park empty. And the same people saying, Doc, well, sometimes they'll still make a mistake and call me minister, but I'll tell them, don't make that mistake. Sometimes they could lose their work. But they used to say, the car park used to be full. Now we don't have nobody, so I don't know, they're working, how they say, remotely? You're there in Grenada and the people vote you to work for them, but they're working remotely because you can't see them at all. Brothers and sisters, I have a warning for the Grenada Board of Tourism. They have to look out. Because very soon, there will be no work for them to market Grenada. Because if one man wearing an outfit that is not a Grenadian outfit could still go and market Grenada more than the Board of Tourism, brothers and sisters, we're in serious, serious trouble. So I was in tourism, and I remember with pride when we registered the first 500,000 visitors to our shores. And, brothers and sisters, we did that by going out and talking to people, marketing tourism. We went and market our crops, our produce, our chocolate. We went and do that, our beautiful Grand Anse Beach, Livera, Brother Oliver Beach in St. David's. We went and market all of these things. All the time, we didn't know that one single man in one outfit that doesn't say nothing about Grenada could say, I am Grenada, come to Grenada, and you will have a good time. But you know, we did surveys after survey after survey with visitors to our shores. And when we asked them what they liked the most, they said the people, the warmth and the love of the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. One man can't take that from us, Grenadians. That is our legacy. Friendliness, love, caring in Grenada, and welcoming. So I want to say to those who are planning to come, thinking of coming, it's not that one man you're going to see. You're going to see a loving team of Grenadians, and you're going to see them led by an NNP government that cares about people, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, NDC making history. They have a national survey. I don't know if they ask all of those questions already. You know what they're asking? Who you family support? Which party? NNP or NDC? Who you vote for? NNP or NDC? Using a bold and shameless and brazen people in administration, using taxpayers' money that they could buy plaster with and medicine with, and sending people out to ask you who they vote for. They go find out very soon who Grenada people voting for, brothers and sisters. Very, very soon. They will not have to ask the question, because you know, and by the growing numbers we see every day, you know who you're voting for already. So tell them, don't ask you. Tell them, set the date. And they wouldn't have to do a survey and thief Grenadians' money to send people and do a survey asking foolish questions. Not all the questions foolish, and not the people who go in, they're foolish. But they put some questions there and they want the money there to ask the question. So don't hate them. They want the money, but don't answer the question. Just hold on. In a little while, they wouldn't have to ask the question again, brothers and sisters. They will know the power of NNP Grenadians right here. So, brothers and sisters, I was listening to a little thing on the radio and I hear people say they're privatizing the hospital. I say, well, Bonje, poor people dead. A lot of us, because if now it's not statutarized or privatized, whatever it is, and we can't get medication and we don't get it nothing and we cannot afford it and they're giving us the prescription, knowing full well we cannot afford it, and knowing full well that they met a pregnant treasury, knowing full well that they could take some money from the CREF money, 118 million, because this is the disaster that is happening in health, needs some insurance money. Yeah. And what they did was put a measly, meager $5 million. When you see in double figures and treble figures for other things that are less important, I am not saying they're not important, less important for health. I don't know what they're doing with it. And you see, I hear they're pushing back the budget because they cannot account. They're putting up the gerrymandering to come and tell us. Watch them and be careful. Let them demonstrate how they use that money for you. But the state of health is alarming. It is painful. It is hurting. I have been there. And we have had problems too. But never before have we seen the magnitude. That problems of that magnitude. Maternal mortality, mothers going to deliver and they die. Children and babies going in the hospital are being born there and they die. The numbers are alarming. It's not that children didn't die before. So I don't want nobody ask me question on Facebook. I'm not saying nobody died before. What I'm saying is we never had this alarming number in such a short period of time. And we need to call Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization, ask them to come and help us and put some more money there for the people of Grenada. So how you going to start it? You're going to statutarize. So that means you throw out some people long. And the comparison of how it is, well, we have statutory bodies. Grand Lake is a statutory body. You know, it manages itself, but still under government. You have NAWASA. But what I know is, I never hear anybody die in Grenada because they cut off their electricity or they don't have water. We find ways to do it, and I'm going to remind you all what we NNP did for them. But we know that people died in Grenada because they could not get the medication that they needed, and so they died. So you cannot compare health. Health is special. It is different. It is separate. It can afflict any one of us at any time, and it hurts so many people when something goes wrong with our people. And instead of empathy, instead of engagement with the people, instead of the engagement with the workers, instead of coming to the nation and say, we hear your pain, we know what's going on, and we're going to do something, you come up with privatization and statutarization. Brothers and sisters, and they compare it to NAWASA. We have river. We don't want to bathe in shower. We could bathe in river. We could wash we clothes in river. We have streams. We could drink the water. And if NAWASA disconnects you, somebody will give you a bucket of water. But if your government denies the people access to health care, the right to medication, the right to caring in a facility, a hospital, a health center, then who could save us? Nobody, brothers and sisters. So, brothers and sisters, don't get me wrong, electricity is important. Look, last week we had to have a meeting in St. Mark, and because of an accident and we didn't have electricity, and Brother Mikey called and probably Brother Mikey said, but he don't know when electricity coming. And we know the importance of it. We know the importance of water. And that is why NNP in government started a program where they would pay for connection for water for the indigent. And where, if they couldn't pay the monthly thing, they would assist them to pay because we know the importance of water. NNP, after COVID, and I want to read it here because it's learned people that tell me that, I don't want to make mistake, because when you make a mistake, you have some bloodhounds. All they could see and hear is the mistake. They're coming for your throat. But it's all right. That throat is small, but it's tough. It's tough. So, what I want to tell all you, in COVID, are looking for it. Our party in office removed the environmental levy from the electricity bill. And they reduced non-fuel, not the fuel part, charge on the electricity bill by 25% after COVID to give you all an opportunity to get a little money to use it elsewhere. That is what we did. And that is, we have always intervened when there is a disaster in this country. You know what the government that making history did? They put it back on we back. They put it back on poor people back. So they're making history, but they're making it in the wrong way, brothers and sisters. You don't climb on the backs of your people and take advantage of them because they put their trust in you to vote for them. Well, brothers and sisters, I know by now, all of us realize the mistake that was made. All of us didn't make the mistake, but the mistake cost us a lot. It hurt our children. It interfered with the learning. It caused people to die when there should be medication in the hospital, when there should be doctors and nurses being engaged to come and work in the hospital. And so we have the problem. And that is why we didn't expect every town hall meeting would have been like a rally. We just felt we needed to come and bring you the message and to let you know that we care and that we are there for you. But brothers and sisters, the people have a mind of their own. They just see a little flyer with Dr. Modeste going to be here. St. Max people put in on the chat, what was that going? I said, well, that is not we business. They just invite me. But they want to be there. They want to hear the words. And they want to fraternize with the brothers and sisters of the new national party. Brothers and sisters. They want to see the people who have shown empathy for them. And they want to know that people care. Brothers and sisters, the train is moving and it will not stop. It's going to continue. So we say, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving, brothers and sisters. And we want to change the history. We want to change the history of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. It is too devastating for this country. Thank you, brothers and sisters. God bless you.
NMPites! I tell you, she talawa. NDC is making history. I tell all you, they're doing everything except what they're supposed to do. They haven't been listening to the cries of the people and only flying, rebranding and decorating. Settle down and mind your business. If they ain't careful, okay, just a little caution. He's soft-spoken and humble. About the only time I hear this individual get aggressive is when he's speaking on issues that affect the people. He is committed and dedicated to his community, and he continues to be the father and voice of his people. St. George's Southeast. St. George's Southeast. Welcome your constituency lead and deputy political leader.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. A beautiful lady, a strong lady, and she has definitely learned from the best. Welcome and thank you. I want to recognize our political leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, the parliamentary representative for St. Mark. In a special way, we welcome you to St. George Southeast. It is not your first time, but we are very happy that you are here. We want to recognize our brother Oliver Joseph, adjoining constituency, Senator the Honorable Dwight Hosford, and he has given you a mouthful. Thank you very much, my brother. for reminding us. And just as the parliamentary rep, Claris, Modeste, I have sat in cabinet with two people in the audience, Sister Lorena Waldron and the former senator. Yes. Thank all of you for your commitment. And Senator Garway is not only sitting in cabinet. As Brother Dwight before him, he is continuing to work and to work diligently for us in St. George Southeast. We thank you very much, my brother. I want to recognize all those listening to us on the media. As I have said in 2 meetings before, you too have a fundamental role to play as we in Grenada. Remember, you were used on the last occasion. You were used to put fear into people in Grenada. Well, you won't get a barrel. Well, you won't get a this. You won't get a that. Now it is your time to correct, brothers and sisters, the situation. It is your time to stay outside there and tell your people, as one lady with my mother told me a few weeks ago, I made a mistake. We made a mistake. And now we are there to see our country come back on target. We want to see our country perform in a manner to help our people, to help us, to help here, and so that you in the diaspora can be proud. Already we see signs of it, you know. Already we see signs that you are doing the right thing, that you are recognizing how you were used. And don't be afraid. Do what is right. As I've told the IMF team on many occasions when they were here, when we were putting Grenada on the economic recovery path, we definitely want to do the right thing. They asked me, how come these difficult things you said that your government will support? And some of these things, you're throwing them apart, and they look so easy that you could go and sell to your people. I said the new national party is not here just to sell things to gain votes. We are here to do what is right for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. That is why, brothers and sisters, they said we did nothing. But at our last public meeting, I asked them, how did we do nothing and we left $500 million in the treasury so that Grenada can move forward? This amount, brothers and sisters, was not only to pay pension. Because we met with the unions and we told the unions, and they agreed with us, how we will advance with the pension situation. We reminded them in 2013, remember where we were? Remember what we did to reach here? You were a part. The business community were a part. The churches were a part. The NGOs were a part. We did what we have to do. And now we are agreeing with you to return pension to those who were disbarred from the pension. And remember, brothers and sisters, we were paying pension to people. It was only the people who were discommoded by the People's Revolutionary Law that disbarred members from getting pension. So the sum of money, the over $500 million, that was to pay the pension of the backlog and to go forward. with all those persons who will now be adopted into the pension scheme. So, brothers and sisters, the $500 million were there also to pay for projects. Our brother Oliver Joseph has already told you that it was not an easy case to get there. But brothers and sisters, all the money is there. They were earmarked. Pay the pension backlog, pay for the project so that you can provide jobs for the people. Because we had come from 108% of debt to GDP. And we could not borrow. Let me ask you a question. Have you heard this government introduce a bill into parliament to borrow any money? Why can they not do that? There are those who say, I'm not following the IMF. I'm bigger than the international community. But let me tell you, the G7 countries who put their money into this organization, when they say no is no. And you cannot feel that you are great without following the rules. And remember, the IMF is an institution of which all the countries are members. So you cannot say, I will do what I want. And the other countries will say, oh, I will follow the rules. Then when they clamp on you, you're clamped. So these monies were there to pay for projects, capital projects. Remember the Molyneux project? That was all part of it. Sure, we got a grant from the UK SIF. But when we got the monies, when we got the cost estimate, it was way above the monies that we got as grant. So we had to put, we couldn't borrow the rest, we had to put out the monies. You see the road from the cliff back to Woodlands Gap? That was part of the UK SIF. But the monies, the expenditure was so large. And Britain said she wants to be able to see the part that she's financing. So that money, that component, we had to finance it. We spoke with Dr. Warren, president of the CDB, and he agreed to do what he can. But remember, to borrow, we had to sit with the international community. We had all our systems set out, and we were given loans at concessionary rate of 0.75% because we stuck to what we said we would do. And we did what was right for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and the PT Martinique. Brothers and sisters, all of those things we must remember. So when we made the error and we put others to lead who do not know how to lead, we will suffer as we are suffering today. But the new national party is here. We have not given you up. We are back on the trail. We are ensuring that as in 2013, we do all that is necessary, the planning through this period, so that when we hit the road, we can hit the road running so that Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique can be rescued, brothers and sisters. I want to thank you for coming out, for attending. Because we know that victimization is rife. Oh, yeah. I want to thank those persons who are leading in the past in the constituency. And even I would not force them to come out when I know that the throats will be cut. So you're not seeing many of them. I thank them for what they do and what they continue to do behind the scene. And I specifically want to thank the new team that's here with us in St. George Southeast. They are doing whatever it takes to ensure that the job can continue. So I thank all of you for coming forward with your help. And brothers and sisters, on this note, I want to thank the management of this school. Why? At the very first meeting, we had it here. Do you know that we wrote the organization for the use of the Marian Community Center? we did not get it. But we wrote to the school at very short notice. In fact, it was a telephone call. And we had the very meeting there in March earlier this year. So I want to say thank you to the school. And all the procedures, we write the ministry and we write the school. And without hesitation, the school again said, here, come. As a matter of fact, they did much in the preparation of the seating arrangement for us. Thank you very much, management and staff of the Jaloux RC School. Brothers and sisters, persons are seeking help who never sought help before. I am talking about NNP and I am talking about NDC. You see, when we held a function in St. George Southeast to help somebody in the community, to help NNP, to help NDC, to help the whole areaite, we will put it out there and we'll ask the people in the community to come and support, because these people have children going to school and we are doing what we can. Please come out and help. These people came out and they helped us in the fundraiser. So we got a report that we made $900 and we gave all to this poor person. And so those was NDC and NNP. They were happy. They would meet me later. And they will say, you know I don't support you. I support the venture. And I know that you always look after your people. So don't leave me out if you have anything else. Brothers and sisters, these people, they've never come to us before. They were supporting the functions to give to those more in need and those most in need. But now these people are coming to me. They are saying, you know, if I had it, I would not come. I say, yes, I know. I do not have, but I'll give what I have. And I call on the team of the New National Party to support me so that I can give something to you. You won't hear us calling names. All I want to do is to commend these people for their bravery. The fact is, they would not have come to me if, as you, Brother Dwight said, they had guile in their hearts. They support a party, they support the party. They have respect for me, I have respect for them. So whenever we're doing something good, they come forward. So, brothers and sisters, I mentioned this to tell you the state of our economy. It is much worse than in 2013. Much worse. In 2013, while they were selling assets to pay salaries, they were not out there gallivanting and enriching themselves. Now we see it. Now we see it, brothers and sisters. The Library Road, they completed it. They never took claim. They could not take claim. But I am saying that even though they're saying they're working, we left monies in the $500 million to do the St. Paul's, Mondelez to Westerhall Road. It was designed and it was part of a contract to be done. Where is that road now? All the monies are gone. All the monies are gone. I only mention in this area, but there are many other areas that monies were left for projects to be done, and these monies disappeared. You cannot see what is done to it. But as our sister Claris Modeste said, there is a committee, the Public Accounts Committee, of which the leader of His Majesty's opposition is the chairperson. And gleaning from the questions that the team has put forward in Parliament, you know that there is a lot to answer. And there is a lot more that will be done, brothers and sisters. You remember we did plain fields lighting throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. There are areas, brothers and sisters, that where the new National Party administration left those projects, that's where they are up today. Some in the tendering state, some the material that's come in, and the contractor had to put them in, but you are not seeing them lighted. I think one person said, you think we Gregory Bowen, when they can't pay the electricity bill, they will come to us. We know Gregory Bowen. We can organize and pay electricity bill. So brothers and sisters, listen carefully. What is being said? Those of you with the Jaloux and the Marian playing field, you recognize how the community was lifted with the activities that used to take place there. Standard of living went up. Our boys and girls played football, played basketball, they played everything. We had the basketball team and the basketball courts that were also built and played. We have done a lot. What we want to do is any person following in the footsteps of the new National Party, you should take up the mantle and run with it. Take it on and run with it. Brothers and sisters, I remember when we lost the elections, some of our people, they came to me and said, well, you were not looking out after your people. I said, don't say so. We were looking out after Grenada, Carriacou, and the Petit Martinique. There is, particularly the contractors, you will know. There is the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act. This requires you, whether it's your friend or your enemy, to allow them to tender for a work once it is above $15,000. So when you pick a person and you give them a job, just hand it to them. You are breaking the law. And brothers and sisters, the legal mind will tell you there are ways to deal with those who break the law. No matter your position in society, you cannot break the law. And if someone wins, you cannot take it from the winner and give it to the person, your friend. That was part of the suite of legislations that we have to pass to show that we will move away from anything with corruption. And do you know, in this law, it's mentioned of corruption, that you must not be involved in corruption. It is specifically there in writing. So if any person feel that they have the authority to call a contractor and to give that contractor a job valued at over $15,000, then he or she has to answer. They must answer. And that is why you see they thought. I remember, in 2008, someone from Minister Joe's constituency in Corey made me. He said, well, no, the minister will write a check. And I look. They don't know that no minister could write a check. Your name cannot go on a check. The Finance and Public Management Act says who can sign checks, who can write checks, and who can even authorize the voucher. You will not see a minister's name there. So if we came into government with the philosophy that we will write checks and we will give jobs, then prepare to answer and face the consequences, my brothers and sisters. Seed. A lot of our people are facing hard times. Those who were on the seed program, who you're voting for? 2 weeks after, name off the list. Yes? And those who are asking, again, 2, 3 notices will reach in and say, that's an NNP. You'll be waiting on that list. There are those who are waiting for over 2 years now. So brothers and sisters, and I'm speaking now to the heirs of the diaspora, how can you support a group that will be doing this to your mother, that will be doing this to your relative, that will be doing this to someone you know deserve it? You have started, you have listened, continue to listen, and continue to do what is right. Just as how we must here speak to our friends, speak to our children, speak to the young people, and we failed to do that during the last elections. We did not speak to the young people. Remember, no, I'm sure many of them have told me, are going back to you and say, but mommy and daddy, you didn't tell me. You didn't guide me. Do not allow this to happen again. Whatever your reason, you must speak to the young people. Why do you think the law holds you responsible for people under, your children under a certain age? It's not only the law, it's the moral responsibility that you must exercise for them to grow uprightly and to make the correct decision, my brothers and sisters. We are here to do that. Brothers and sisters, the Integrity in Public Life Act, that is one act that requires action when we do wrong thing. Again, in the office, the political office. And let me just end by telling you what a young man. You know, we always say the young people, and the young people don't know. Only yesterday, I met him. And he said, I was born in the 70s. He didn't tell us his age. So I said he must be just a little above 50, but looking for him most likely in the 40s. And he said about the Heroes Day. Sister Claris tell us they did not tell us we were a hero. He says he understands nothing. Why is Kirani James mixed with October 19? He is asking that, you know. I didn't ask him. And he said, if you want to have 2 sets of awards, you do one for the team or the group, perhaps who lost their life, however you want to call that. If you want to call it Heroes Day, he's not agreeing with the term hero, but if you want to call it Heroes Day, that's you. Yeah, and he said, but people like Kirani James, they're in a different bracket, who excelled for the country, who are leading us through. He said he did not understand. With respect to the heroes of October 1983, he said, I know nothing about it. So I calculated again. I said, well, 40-something. Yes, it's 41. No, he has to be very young. He said what he expected them to do as part of, however they want to call it, Heroes Day, was for 1 week before October 19th, educate all the young people as he, who know nothing about what happened on the 4th, spend an entire 2 weeks, fortnight, educating them so that they can discern what is taking place. He made his judgment without knowing anything and just listening to people. He did not know what went on the 4th. He did not know anything, particularly in 79. He knows nothing. And as much as we speak to them, they continue to be confused. So we must not put that behind us. We must talk to them about that also. Because we see those trying to emulate and trying to repeat and trying to do what certain figures did. But they don't know anything, you know. And this young man was born in the 70s, would be older than those persons who now hold reins and who now want to listen to people. But they're always listening to one sector, you know. Not to those who will show them the right path. Remember, you either like Maurice Bishop and you hate Eric Machugeri. Nobody went through to see what Eric Machugeri did. But if you teach the history, they will understand. One of the things that got me the most angry, let's put the most angriest angry, was when I heard a proponent of the revolution who did everything to destroy Eric Machugeri. That is the feeling. I was not mad with him at that time. But when he came back to me and said, Eric Machugeri was a first revolutionary. From that time, I lost all respect for him and for those who think in the particular manner. If you know that a man was good, you could dislike the man, but say what was good about him. And this is the team that is leading our nation now. A team who simply likes one, dislikes the other, will not do the research, and will not put forward the education in a manner that you can understand. That is why, brothers and sisters, I never spoke the revolution. I was around. I functioned. But you have never heard Gregory Bowen mention anything bad, even though against Eric Machugeri. Because I researched. I saw what he did. No one is perfect. I experienced the revolution. So I could make the judgment. So when they come before you saying, I am here and I want nothing from there, take warning, brothers and sisters. What is happening? And you'll see and recognize why your country is on the path on which it is going. I ask you to support the new National Party. I made it abundantly clear that when the NNP or when the NDC moved out of the NNP, most of the NDC people, they were my friends. They grew up in my area. But I looked at their philosophy and I never lied to them. I told them, I cannot support your philosophy. And they know they were talking to no fool. And when they say why, I say, this. Well, I never benefited from the regime. Not that I wanted to benefit. I always wanted to make a contribution. And if I cannot make a meaningful contribution under this regime, and I could make a meaningful contribution under this partnership, then Gregory Bowen ended up under the new National Party. And I have contributed and will continue to make the contribution to the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, to the people of St. George Southeast. I ask you to support and do what is necessary so we can see the new National Party back at the head.
Thank you, Brother Bowen. I sat there and a few things were replaying in my mind. Sister Claris had listed approximately 8 things that the NDC has made history with that has affected us. But one thing stood out to me. You see, when things start affecting our children we need to stay woke. Our kids' education is not to be played with. We are hard-working people, and we know that one of the ways to get out of poverty is education. It is often said that education is the backbone of every economy. And you are going to play with our future, our children's future. They have to be crazy. But they have their education already. So it's whatever with poor people's children. So they could do us what they want. But as a youth, I am calling on the government to sort it out. Our children are not to be played with. Brothers and sisters, we know you are suffering. We have seen it. We have seen the struggles, and cost of living right now is high. Times are hard, and the government is a waste of time. But hold on. I say to you, hold on, for the NNP is coming. We are coming, and we are coming to rescue Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. We are coming to rescue our teachers. We are coming to rescue our students. Hold on, for we are coming. We are on a rescue mission, and we have never, ever failed you. Ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour, the stalwart, the veteran, the man with all the ideas, the man with the vision, the man who knows how to make an empty treasury pregnant. Stand up and welcome your political leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell.
Well, yes. That little girl a fire away. But this kind of talent could only come from the new National Party. Only way. Friends all, first of all, let me welcome and of course recognize our team at the head table, the team of MNP, leadership, the chairman of our party, Oliver Joseph, is here with us. The assistant chairman, Claris Modeste, is here with us. Brother Gregory Bowen, your deputy political leader. Brother Dwight Osford, who was with us before and is back home to be part of the rescue mission. Sister Lorena Waldron, sitting there, was there with the team before, and she's here with us again. My brother from New York, sitting right at her back there. Stalwart, raise your hand, man. Raise your hand. Right. Friends, well, I don't know what else I can say. Brother Gary is here with us too. And all of you, sisters and brothers, all of you distinguished brothers and sisters, you are going to be part of the rescue mission. You know, what more do you expect me to say after you listen to Gregory Bowen, Claris Modeste Coyne, Dwight Horsford, Oliver Joseph, and all the members of this special team, Sister Claris. I can't say much more. You know, it's like my cup is overflowing. Seriously so. I said over and over, I feel like a father whose job has been well done. And when you see the growth of the family, and you say, well done, good and faithful servant. Friends, but let me say this. It is no coincidence that we have the problem that we're facing in our country today. It is significant for those who know the history of this country that every time an MP gets into office, the country moves forward. Do you remember that? And every time NDC gets a chance, the country goes into reverse gear. These are simple facts. Simple facts. And the question is why? Why do we always see the country moving forward and appear to be stable and people having opportunities, as opposed to when the NDC gets in office and people balling and balling and balling? You know why, sisters and brothers? If you're getting into government, it's about serving people. That's a fundamental difference. The NNP team, and you look at every single one of them, they are people who are interested in serving people, not serving themselves. So what happens? In government, they look at what can they do to improve the lives of the people of the country. And to do that, you have to first love people. If you don't love people, you should not be around anything in government. If you don't love people, you should not go in the classroom saying you become a teacher. If you don't love people, don't go and say you want to be a doctor or a nurse or something. Because you have to love people. You have to have empathy. You have to want to help people improve their lives. So a fundamental criteria of why things are different, NNP is love, empathy, and about service. What you have in government over the period NDC has been, it's about themselves. It's about serving themselves. But let us take some other basic factor. To have a country move forward, you need peace and stability. Therefore, what do you need? You have to treat people right. If you are in government and you're only out looking for a group of persons and you're saying the rest must not survive, then you are creating division in your society. And the NNP has always been about, when we're in government, everyone must have a chance, sisters and brothers. And every one of the members here and those sitting on the audience will know, we have constantly told our people, do not come and tell us the only person that must have opportunity is those who vote for us. When you are elected into government, you are elected for all the people of the country. Simple as that. So your policies and program must give opportunities to everybody. You are not foolish. You're clearly going to be looking after some of the people who voted for you. You have to be practical. But to imply that those who didn't vote for you should not exist is a fundamental stupidity. Sisters and brothers, the evidence of the difference between the NNP and the NDC is this. Why you think we won 15 seats 3 times in this country? 3 times in the entire Commonwealth of Nations. No other political party has ever had a clean sweep in government 3 times in government. So it's given face to the point I'm making. If when we won the election, we started victimizing the people that didn't vote for us, we would not have got the votes of those who didn't vote for us to win 15 seats the next time around. And when we lost again, and we came back into government, and then they gave us another 15 seats because we treated the people who did not vote for us right also.
sisters and brothers, in addition to this, we have to recognize we must have security. If you have a police force that is today destroyed, that's a factor. I am telling you, as a matter of fact, your security of your country is in serious shape. That's a fact. Policemen are going through the motion because they are demoralized. Because people are being promoted, people are being transferred, people have been victimized on the basis of the perception of who they support and who they vote for. That cannot be the way to manage the security of any serious institution, more so a country. So your security has been jeopardized. Because if your policemen are not happy, if your policemen do not want to work because they don't feel that they are being treated properly, your country is in trouble. So to move your country forward, you must have security. I said you must have peace. You must have love. You must have empathy. So I'm going forward. And every time I make those points, you have to think, is NDC doing this? Just keep thinking. The next one. You have to have a plan of government to get your country forward. What you plan? The economy of your country. It's so fundamental. You have to be able, you have your infrastructure already in place, because NNP, without NNP, and Mr. Infrastructure is the man who is in St. George's Southeast, Gregory Bowen. Historically, Mr. Infrastructure, just understand this. Mr. Infrastructure is Gregory Bowen. You have to have that in place. So you have infrastructure, you have peace, you have stability. You have to educate your people. To have a prosperous society, you must have an educated society. So that is in place because the NNP put enormous emphasis on educating our children. The facts are well known. Today you have TAMCC students demonstrating all over the country. Never in how many years in government, TAMCC student striking against a government for not doing something for them. Sisters and brothers, in all the years we're in government, most teachers never voted for us. Listen to my word. I didn't say teachers didn't vote for us. I say most, because we have a lot who voted for us. But no teaching organization could say that at the end of the month they didn't get their salary, sisters and brothers. So you're taking care of the teachers, the education, and you must have health. You need an educated, healthy society to have prosperity. So we have to invest in the health care of our country. Sisters and brothers, NNP did that. We were not perfect. We were not perfect. All over the world you hear cries of improvement in the healthcare system. And Sister Claris said it right, correctly. She said, yes, there were weaknesses, but the kind of thing going on in the healthcare system today never happened under the new National Party, sisters and brothers. So you have that in place. Then you're moving forward with your economy. Now you have to have confidence. If people do not have confidence in you, and those who are governing the country, they are not going to invest. They are not going to take risk. That is for fundamental, sisters and brothers. You talk to most businessmen in the country today, they tell you they are in shock as to the present state of business in this country. Because they have no confidence in this government. People who came here because of the confidence they had in this government, in the NNP, and started serious hotel and other activities and invested money in this country, all of them closed shop. Because they said, These people do not care about investment, and they do not care about people coming and creating opportunities and jobs. My friends, in a country, we put aside millions of dollars in GDP and within the Ministry of Finance for small businesses to grow. Because you grow the economy, you create jobs. Less headache for the government to find jobs for individuals, because the private people will take risk. They'll create jobs and they will ease the pain of the government. Sisters and brothers, so see, I'm making the point. So all that I'm saying here, you ask yourself, is that being done by the government? The opposite is happening. Because they take all your money in GDP and they give Andy, you know. Andy get all of your money, you know. Yeah? Handy, they say handy. No, serious. We are in trouble, you know. Sisters and brothers, we are in trouble. But let me say this. So when NNP ever take reins, as we certainly will, as a political organization, friends, you expect to see we'll have to clean up a lot of mess. But I think Gregory pointed out something, and I have to repeat it. Because it doesn't matter who leads NNP in government, but NNP would have to ensure that if people did wrongs and took the people's money wrongfully, they have to be accountable for that action, sisters and brothers. So those who believe they don't have to obey rules, they could break the laws of the country with impunity, we will have people to deal with that, sisters. They're not going to be the politician, because the politicians don't get involved in charging people. But the law will have to take its course. So we're issuing a warning to those who believe that they can do as they want, because we know a lot of nonsense taking place. So sisters and brothers, as I said, I'm not going to spend much more time on this, but to say to you this. Your NNP party is on the rescue mission for this country. That's simple as it is. But I want to say to you this. Over the years, your NNP party has grown. You have seen different persons coming in to the new national party and making contributions. Those of us, the older ones who are there, like myself and Gregory and so on, we will always be there to help the team continue to make progress for Grenada, Carriacou, and P.T. Martinique. So you'll see Brother Oliver there. You'll see Sister Claris there. But you'll see some new faces. You see that young lady there? That's the kind of people coming home into the house of the new national party. In other words, we're bringing in new blood to strengthen the new national party. Brother Dwight Horsford is here, new man. He's ready to do his work on behalf of the new national party and the country, sisters and brothers. We appointed a new senator, Senator Charles, who's a medical doctor, also ready to make a contribution. And you will see more and more new faces, young men and young women coming involved in the new national party to help in the rescue mission of this country. But as they do this, you will see Keith Mitchell, Gregory Bowen, and all the stalwarts there working closely with them to rebuild Grenada, Carriacou, and P.T. Martinique. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. At this time, I now invite Ms. Samantha Johnson to do the vote of thanks, followed by Father Latouche to say the closing prayer.
Good evening, everyone. As we conclude this very impactful meeting, it is my honor to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the St. George Southeast constituency. First and foremost, I would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished speakers for their powerful and motivating addresses. Your words have continued to inspire us and strengthen our determination to work even harder towards our shared goals, to get this beautiful tri-island state back to where it should be. Let us applaud and show our heartfelt appreciation to this amazing team. To the organizing committee, thank you for putting this wonderful meeting together. Your professionalism and attention to detail have greatly contributed to the success of this event. Lastly, a big thank you to all the attendees and supporters. Please remember that your enthusiasm and commitment does not go unnoticed. Thank you all for your continued support and commitment. Your participation here today and your ongoing support are invaluable. Together, we will continue to work towards our common goals as we continue to make a positive impact on our community and our nation. Have a wonderful evening and safe travels home. Thank you. Father Latouche.
Let's stand and bow our heads. God is good. And all the time. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my strength and thy redeemer. Psalm 19, verse 4. Let us pray. O gracious and loving God, we thank you for conducting yet another successful zonal meeting. We thank you, Lord, for bringing us here safely. And now, O God, as we prepare to go our separate ways, we invoke your traveling mercies. Guard and protect us, Lord, from every form of harm, danger, injury, and even sudden death. Save us, Lord. Save your people. Lighten our darkness, Lord, we pray. And in your mercy, defend us from all perils and dangers of this night. For the love of your only Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
A gentle reminder about our bingo on Sunday. Come out in your numbers and support.
Are you ready? Let's go!
Grenada. Get ready as the new National Party invites all to its 40th anniversary fundraising bingo event. Sunday, October 27th from 5 p.m. at Victoria Park, Grenville. Over $100,000 in cash and prizes to be won. Imagine you can win a Suzuki Ignis hybrid car, $50,000 in cash, plus other fantastic prizes. Tickets are $60 for one or $100 for two. Free buses will be available island-wide. Don't miss it, or you might just see your neighbor driving a Suzuki Ignis. Sunday, October 27th, we're heading to Victoria Park in Grenville for the new National Party 40th Anniversary Fundraising Bingo.